Hello friends, welcome to Dezinlife. Friends, in pharma industry, normally we always measure the performance by primary sale. But sometimes we say primary sale, maybe stock may be more pumped in the market, it may not give the right picture. To confirm, we look at secondary sale. But secondary sale, many times we are not able to collect the right data or complete data. Or sometimes the data also may not come as a correct, because many times stock is added the free goods also, or some stock is we are not able to collect. So there are two more parameters which in the industry we look at. One is our collection, which never speak lies, and another data which is important is the inventory. Because stockists always purchase depending on their sale or depending on the likely demand in the market. So inventory level is one of the very important parameter of looking at the performance. AIOCD this month released the inventory data of the industry of the last 13 months, which give a trend and which speak something. So today we are going to discuss that. This 13-month data is available from November 18 to November 19. And this data is what I am presenting now is basically major 5 therapeutic segment, which is anti-infective, cardiac, GI, diabetic, vitamin, minerals and nutraceuticals, which put together contribute close to 56% of pharma industry, which means this majority of trend being represented by this data. So when you look at this data, over a period of last 13 months, it is slowly reducing. So put together, it is reduced. If I look at say November 18, which was almost say 46 days, now it's come to say 41 days. So practically, it is a drop of almost 10%. Last year Deepavali was in month of November. So if you look at say take the December data, so December to this year November, this practically 1 year has shown a drop of 46 days to 41 days, precisely 10% drop. After this total data, when we look at say biggest therapeutic segment, that is anti-infective. Anti-infective is the major drop, which has come down from almost 53 days to the 43 days, say practically almost say 20% drop, or say 45 days. So almost 20% drop in the anti-infective inventory. And third segment, GI, which is almost say 49 days come to 42 days. Again, there is a 10 to 15% kind of drop in the inventory. But when we look at say continuously, whether it's a total market or the anti-infective segment, GI segment, there is a continuous drop. And you look at say multivitamin, that is also drop in the inventory. So almost all the segment. But when we compare this drop in the inventory in case of cardiac also there is a drop, but the drop is very minimal. When you look at drop in the diabetic segment, which is the 5th segment, again drop is there, but drop is very minimal. So when we look at say these 5 therapeutic segment, the chronic segment, which we can say diabetic and cardiac, this drop is very minimal. And the acute segment, which is anti-infective, followed by the GI, followed by the multivitamin, which drop is much more significant. And that is where impacting, can say total inventory. So what we can say, overall there is a drop in the inventory in last 13 months, and which is more so significant in the case of acute and comparatively less in the case of chronic segment. Friends, normally inventory drop in the two cases. One is where there is a reduction in the secondary sale, and secondly where pattern of keeping inventory or stockists start keeping lower inventory, because the pattern is changing, computers are coming. In the both cases, there is some message, or can say some take home message for us. So there is a 4 broad takeaway I would like to say with looking at this pattern of the changing in the inventory. Number 1 is we need to focus more on the secondary sale or the liquidation, because the way inventory is reducing, if we have to keep the primary sale happening, our secondary sale has to be on higher side. Number 2, this clearly giving message, thus pushing of the stock may not work in the future. It might have worked in the past, but if you push the stock as a stockist, it is not going to happen in the future the way trends are emerging. Number 3 message is this, looking at this trend, inventories will further reduce, and this trend is more visible in the chronic segment as compared to acute. So as there is a growth is more in the chronic or the subchronic and as compared to acute, which means looking into this trend, or we took a look at say total number of inventory days in the diabetic and cardiac, which is lesser than the anti-infective or the GI. This means the future number of inventory days is further going to reduce. And number fourth message is IT technology is working to reduce the paid capital for the stockist. So companies can also learn from this. When stockists is using this IT technology so that their paid capital reduce, their working capital reduce, companies can also look at how they can reduce their paid capital or the working capital using the IT. So it is message to everyone so that we become the most cost-effective industry in days to come. So friends, this was our brief discussion on the changing inventory pattern which in the pharma industry, which gives some message to us, some learning to us. Hope this video will be useful to you. Thank you for watching us today. Thank you, friend.